Manchester City fans, it is full time at the Etihad Stadium, and as you can see on your screen, we are off to Wembley. We have made it into the Carabao Cup final after a 5-1 win against Newcastle across 2 legs in the semi-final. All the work being done in the first half, as pointed out by Nicky with an aggregate score of 5-1. It's finished full time here at the Etihad 3-1. David James, what a result. And what a trip we've got to come up. Final on the 22nd of March.
Yeah, in the end, that's a magnificent leg. 2 ties, sorry. First half, superb. 3 goals, made it comfortable for the second half.
Yeah.
Obviously, Newcastle came out in the second half, showed that there is a lot about them, so it was a good win over a good team. But ultimately, Marmoush, that man now, Erling Haaland, I feel for him, man. The guy had 2 of the best shots in the game and 2 of the best saves from Aaron Ramsdale. But all in all, I think Pep will be delighted that his side today has got them through. As you see on the right-hand side of the screen there, Wembley looks like a familiar place for Man City. Rodri's so familiar with it, he's sitting on it.
Yeah, it's like his couch. I mean, look at these fans here. You got to love the Newcastle fans, who, by the way, came out in great numbers this evening. So great to see them here, and safe journey back to them, of course. Yeah, of course, David. The Etihad South, as some Manchester City fans like to call it. We'll look ahead to what that final looks like. There were some great performances all round, but I mean, given that you're both in the studio, I would really like to take a moment to show appreciation for James Trafford. I think Marmoush got given man of the match here in the stadium. There's an argument for Reinders. I think there's an argument for James Trafford as well.
Absolutely, and the damage for City was done in the first half, or Newcastle, sorry. And that was down to James Trafford because he made 3 really, really good saves. Another decent save. His all-round game was good tonight. Unfortunately, he couldn't quite keep the clean sheet, but the first half, going in 3-0, a lot of that was down to him. So he can be very proud of his performance tonight.
We just had him on our screen there as well. Reinders was also potential, but he was involved in so much today. That athleticism and energy that he brought seemed key, David.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of very decent. Semenyo was involved in 2 of the goals as well. So I mean, his involvement was very important. Reinders, I mean, he looks like he did after he'd done a 3/4 length sprint before he scored the 3rd goal there. But again, with a 2-0 lead, it was important, as Nicky said at the beginning, to get that early goal, make the time more difficult for Newcastle. To have 3 in the first half with Trafford involved as well meant that second half was pretty much a damp squib in many ways.
Yeah.
But as I say, even with the substitutes coming on, Erling Haaland having 2 great opportunities, stopped only by 2 fantastic saves. I think Pep is genuinely smiling, not just to qualify for the final Wembley, but just by the overall performance.
On the second half, we've kind of got no highlights to talk about, bar the Newcastle goal. There was 10 minutes, and I know they had 4 goals to come up for it, but just if we were taking the game at 3-1, was there a little bit of that, what we'd seen in recent games? Because he made 3 big changes. It was suddenly then Rodri, Cherki and Haaland being brought on. But it did feel there was still remnants of what we've been seeing, and we spoke about that slight dip off in the second half, Nick.
Yeah, it just showed that little bit of vulnerability we've got at the back, and that little bit of a soft underbelly. And Elanga got 1, he should have had another, missed an easier chance than his goal, and they had 1 or 2 others that flashed across the face of goal. So it could have been a different. Listen, it was too big a gap for them to climb a mountain, really. But yeah, second half there wasn't as much energy from City, there wasn't as much urgency, and the performance just sort of dipped a little bit, which is half understandable. Main thing is no injuries, hopefully not to Nathan Ake, who came off, but like you say, he wanted to get the big guns on, didn't he, just to make sure that the game was... Just to shore it up. And to be fair, we talked about James Trafford. Aaron Ramsdale made 3 or 4 brilliant saves towards the end as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. And actually as well, kind of going back to conversation we spoke about before the game, when I looked at that 11, I mean, Trafford was so commanding, but bar Reinders and Foden, a lot of the other players, I mean, they'd only really been here a year, a lot of youth, so then he's bringing on the experience. There wasn't actually loads of it on the pitch, which obviously plays a part a little bit.
Yeah, but in the 90 minutes today,
Yeah.
I mean, if you make that reference to previous games where the opposition in the second half have had some kind of headway, Tottenham is probably the easiest one. This is over 2 legs.
Yeah.
So Haaland was, I think, always going to come on at some point. It just so happened he came on when he did today, and he had a massive impact in the game with the chances that he created. But for the young lads, again, it depends how Pep has his conversation now. Whether he looks at it 2 legs, well done, 5-1, or he looks at it as 1 game, 3-1, we need to be better in these situations.
Yes, yeah.
Because even though now qualified for the final, there's still games. Liverpool on the weekend, there's still big games to go, and the mentality has to be for every game.
Yes.
Not just the 2-legged final. So it sounds like I'm jumping from one mindset to another because it's a different competition. But what you expect from City is every game to be the same.
Yes.
And I think Pep's demands that he puts on the players and himself as well. So he won't be happy with that second half. Listen, it's job done. They're in the final. That was the main objective before the game, and that's happened. But he's a perfectionist, isn't he? And I don't think he'll ever find perfection because I don't think in Pep's mind there is perfection.
Yeah. Well, there was the treble season.
Yeah. But even
that, he will have.
Yeah. So I just think, listen, he'll be happy that we're at Wembley. But also just a slightly concerned at the second half performance. But it was easy for Newcastle to really be on that front foot because they had nothing to lose.
For sure.
They made all their substitutions, and sometimes we see it. Amount of times teams are 2-0 down, and then they start playing because it's easy because the pressure's off you then.
Yes.
But listen, the game was never ever in any doubt. It just a little bit, like Joe said, a little bit of a damp squib the second half because the tie was done.
For sure. But it was 5-1, which means a trip to Wembley. Now let's speak about. We spoke about it before, but this is a huge opportunity. I mean, I want to begin with what. Will that experience back? And we talk about maybe this, this younger team, this team in transition, before even thinking about the opponent or potentially winning it. Just playing in a final at Wembley. What does that bring to the team and also individuals who haven't had a chance to play there or be there in that situation? Yeah.
There's so many different ways to look at it because you've still got the experienced players who have won trebles, not as many as last season or the season before necessarily, but you've still got those players there. For the young players, they'll be looking at them for some sort of guidance, whether it's in a conversation or manners or whatever. The excitement of going to Wembley for the first time has to be kind of put on the back burner because you still have to win the game to make it an enjoyable experience. I've unfortunately or fortunately been at Wembley and lost. And at the time, it's the most horrible feeling. You look back at it and think, well, actually, a lot of people don't get this experience. So he's kind of saying, let's win the game and enjoy it for everything we can. As I said, City and Arsenal are in a position now where there could be a quadruple.
Yeah.
No one else can do that. So at least winning that game and being part of that experience for City means that
keeps him in that
Arsenal can't do it.
Yes, yeah.
And there's still 6 points, and by that time I think the 2 are already played in the.
So it might have even got to then. Whoa, you love how it goes in this season. I guess that's the point as well because I think as well City had to get to a few finals and lose them to then go on to win them. So regardless, it's going to be a good experience for this next generation of Manchester City team. But then you've got the other side of it where Ait Nouri, Marmoush I think has been runner-up but never won a competition with his club. I'm also not sure if Egypt have actually, while he's been playing for them. You look at a runner-up as well, of course, in the AFCON. Kusanov, you look, Nico O'Reilly, Reinders. This is all a chance for them to get their first piece of silverware in their career, which is just as huge a motivation.
Listen, going to Wembley for any occasion is a huge occasion.
Yeah.
City have been there, obviously we said it's the Etihad South and all that.
Yeah.
And it's been a regular sort of a happy hunting ground for them over the last sort of 10 or 12, 15 years. But every time you go, it's still a massive occasion. Because it's against Arsenal as well, makes it even bigger. Because obviously we're fighting them on 2 fronts. It'd be a great occasion, hopefully, with our experience, the manager's experience, we can go there and get the job done.
Yeah.
But it will be, like I say, a great learning curve for the younger players and some of the players who haven't been there. And hopefully it won't be the only time we're there this year.
I mean, you've been there playing a final, of course. I mean, is it just a whole totally different experience and feeling? And
yeah, I mean, listen, I was only 20 years of age when I played at Wembley for City, and it was the highlight of my time, well, the highlight of my career, absolutely no doubt. Like Jamo said, even been on the losing side at Wembley, it's a special place to play, one you dream of as a kid, and I don't think, no matter how many times, obviously Jamo played there a lot for England as well, but no matter how many times you go and play at Wembley, it's still very, very special, and you shouldn't take it lightly. So yeah, we'll be going down there, and Pep will do all his homework on Arsenal as he would do in any other game. But yeah, absolutely desperate to get that first trophy ticked off for the season.
See, I think for the players who haven't experienced it, it's not just playing the 90 minutes, extra time penalties, whatever it might be in the final. It's the preparation leading up to the final, demand for tickets, all this stuff where we stay in, sort of the external stuff which you've got to be able to deal with. And City over the years have been able to deal with it pretty well. And that's where I think the experience of the players who have been there before, the manager, might just take some of the less experienced, say, don't worry about that.
Yeah. Focus on the game.
Worry about that. We'll take care of that.
And if you're worried, I can get you. I'll be able to sort you a ticket for Wembley, Dave. No. And you, Nicky, of course. Right, let's go to our commentary team to get their thoughts on that result, and of course, another trip to a Carabao Cup final. Here is Alistair Mann and Andy Morrison.
Yeah, thanks, Kel. Myself and Andy absolutely delighted to deliver the news, of course, that the Blues are back at Wembley. Andy, wonderful, really. The first half, the 90 minutes at Newcastle, tie one, no real sweat, really. What will be your overall assessment?
We went to a Newcastle team in form at home, hadn't been beaten a long time, and over 2 legs you know you're in a tough game against Newcastle. It was 5-1. You know, it was very, very comfy in the end, and you know, and it's not a level of entitlement, Ali, but you know, we expect to go to Wembley, we expect to go to the reaches of the FA Cup, the Champions League, and it's a reflection of this football club, what's been created over the last decade and more time as well. We expect to be in finals, we expect to be at Wembley. It's got all the makings of an amazing, amazing afternoon when we play Arsenal.
What in particular did City do well in the first half?
They started well, Ali, and we're starting games really well. We're very good in the first half, and we were brilliant in that first half. We pressed all over the pitch, we won the ball, and the most important thing was we took our chances. You know, we had maybe 4 or 5 and we took 3. You know, and the second half the game panned out a little bit, but it's very difficult when you're 5-0 up in any game, how to manage it. You know, when they've done it, they got through, and we're going to Wembley, brilliant.
Your thoughts on a cup final against Arsenal?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fantastic occasion. There's the two top teams in the league, and for a long period now, 4, 5, 6 years, the 2 teams that have been challenging each other on all fronts. And it'll be, you know, they'll have 2 managers there who are close friends. You've got a group of players there that there's a respect for each other, but they'll know that they want to go and win that first trophy, which might then just add that little bit of spice, as you said later on in the Champions League, FA Cup. We couldn't beat them again because they are the 2 top teams in the country.
Listen, I'm not going to get too much into that final, but whenever City and Arsenal play, there's always little fine details, aren't there? Do you expect it to be a tactical game when it finally comes in a month's time?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm going to have my blue tinted glasses on, Ali. If our squad's fully fit and we're available, yes, there's a couple of long-term injuries, but if the crux of our squad is there, with Aït-Nouri the way he's come back in form, Marmoush, I think on that day Pep can come up with something that can nullify and cause Arsenal massive problems. You know, and I'm really confident going into it, if the squad's fit.
Thanks, Andy. Your thoughts there of former City captain Andy Morrison, who of course was the captain in '99 in the playoff final, a day Nicky Weaver won't forget either. Let's hope for another unforgettable day on Sunday, March the 22nd. Back to you, Kel.
Thank you, gents. Thanks for your commentary as well. And listen, look at this man here. Comes on for the last 20, then he's out doing his runs there. I mean, I know a lot of players say that it's never fun to do. I almost feel like, though, I can't see a coach with him. I don't know if he's just come out to do that on his own accord. Well, if he has, fair play. Lovely to see him on the pitch. You can expect we'll probably see him on the pitch at the weekend against Anfield. But I'll just remind you again, so that is Sunday, the 22nd of March? Yes. Make sure that you come and join us at the Etihad South as we take on Arsenal. But next up, it's the Premier League, and it's not an easy match at all. It's just a small matter of Liverpool at Anfield. David, thoughts? Don't be sitting on the fence now.
Oh, no,
Don't be sitting on the fence. Give me some confidence. Come on, give me some belief.
I'm fortunate enough to have seen the game on the weekend for Newcastle versus Liverpool, and obviously watch this game tonight. I think that first half performance, the offensive side of it, will cause Liverpool problems. I mean, Liverpool equally have defensive issues where they concede goals. Obviously, they can score many as well. I think it's going to be a enthralling game.
Yeah.
The problem that you got, I mean, not taking away anything from today's result,
no, not at all,
is that James Trafford has to make big saves.
For sure.
Donnaruma's been having to make big saves, so it suggests that if that trend continues, Liverpool will get big chances.
Yes.
However, City are creating many chances as well.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a great one because they have suddenly, I know they've had they've been up and down much like us, maybe just a bit more extreme. They have suddenly finding a bit of rhythm again. I mean, I look at the likes of Wirtz as well now. I mean, Ekatike, in moments seems unplayable. They've got players that can hurt us, and coupled with the fact it's at Anfield.
Yeah, I think what we've got to take the first half performance at the weekend and today.
Yeah.
Take that for the whole game. If we don't, we could play into Liverpool's hands if we do that, because we've just mentioned a couple of players there, Wirtz, Ekatike.
Yeah.
Got a lot of firepower. They've got goals throughout the team, as we've seen the Blue Newcastle away at the weekend. So yeah, really enthralling game because the both sides have got vulnerabilities, and if you can sort of nullify their own vulnerabilities and be more solid, because both teams are going to create chances, you would imagine, because they've got really good attacking players. So yeah, really enthralling game, one we're looking forward to, and it's a massive statement. Get to a cup final, then go to win it. We've not won there for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Go and win at Anfield, be a massive result.
Well, that's what it could potentially be, doesn't it? If there was ever a chance to, where we've been a little bit up and down, a little bit inconsistent, we want to try and now put a bit of a run together. There is no better way than if you can do what you do tonight and go get a result at Anfield.
Yeah, and the other thing about this is Liverpool need to win because they're out of the top four.
Yes.
It's not like Liverpool have got loads of space to allow. I mean, they're not going to try and not win, of course, but they have to win to keep pace with the top four. City have to win to keep at least that gap of 6 points.
Yeah.
It's basically all or nothing for both teams. So I expect it to be
a dour 0-0 draw.
That's the way it is. It's funny you say that, but that's how they could go. But I guess off that, and they could be saying the same about our form and our second half performances, we can also find a positive and going, is it probably a season that you've probably got a most opportunity to get a result at Anfield? Because seasons gone by, you'd bite a hand off for a draw, whereas there's something in this season. Likewise, they can be got at, so maybe there is a chance, and you've got to take a bit of, I guess, energy from that.
You've always got a chance, but I think this year you've got more of a chance because just their inconsistencies and the failure to keep clean sheets. They can easily score a lot, but they can easily concede a lot as well. So it's a great opportunity. We're going in full of confidence. I'm sure there'll be a few tweaks to the lineup. Hopefully we're going to create chances. It's about taking those chances and then nullifying the amount of chances you give to Liverpool.
Lovely stuff. Gentlemen, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much for all your insight and your input. Great to be on with you, and thank you to all of you for joining us. Thank you to Ali, thank you to Andy, and to everyone else who was involved in the show. I am going to leave you in the capable hands of Nat for the game against Liverpool. I'll be watching that on my own because obviously I can be not watching that in the public, it's too much. But then I'll be back for our next two home games, Fulham here in the middle of the week, and then of course FA Cup, Salford City. If you can be around, come and join us. You can get some tickets still over on the Manchester City website. It'll be a great game, great day out on a Saturday. But until then, have a lovely rest of the week. Thanks again, gents, and I'll see you all very soon. Good night.